Good evening. Tonight I'd like to talk to you about the benefit of sports in school. Before I get started, I will show you my audience for this evening. I have here my two daughters, Samantha and Hannah, and my wife, Lori. There are many benefits for sports being included in schools. One of the first benefit is students tend to have healthier lifestyles if they're involved in sports at school. They learn how to eat properly. They eat fruits and vegetables, usually, especially for instance, if it's a soccer match, they use oranges at halftime, different type of fruits during the breaks. So they learn to eat healthier meals. They don't want to gain weight, so they eat healthier at home so they're able to participate in the sports. They also learn how to enjoy exercise. Every sport that a child participates in, if they want to become better at it, they have to practice. And to practice means you're out there running, doing physical activities, different training exercises. So they grown accustomed to it, and they get into a routine of having exercises. The American Academy of Pediatrics talks about the dangers of inactivity. Obesity in childhood for children is at an alarming rate, and it typically lowers their self-esteem. So children who are more active tend to have a better body mass weight, and they also have higher self-esteem. There's a study published in the Journal of Pediatrics. They did a 7-year study, and it involved 1,700 students. And the conclusion from the study was the most effective way to prevent childhood obesity is team sports. Now, another thing that sports does is it builds character as well as sportsmanship. You learn to develop a work ethic. From the routine of having to practice and trying to get better, you create a work ethic that will carry on into your adult life when you get a job. You're used to having a routine of performing and getting better at what you do. Also, when you talk about competitive sports, you always have winners and losers. And you learn how to handle losing with grace. You learn how to deal with defeat. And that's important as well when you get into life. When you go to work, you're not always going to succeed on the first try. You're not always going to be the victor. And you got to learn how to deal with the defeat that life throws at you. You learn how to be a team player. Not all sports are individual sports. Most of them are actually team sports. So you have to learn how to deal with your teammates. How do you cheer your teammates on? How do you get the positive feeling from cheering them on and seeing them do well and seeing the team as a whole do well? Another benefit is socialization. Competitive sports are like life families. You build friendships. You have activities together, usually after games or before games. You have team parties, so you're getting to the social aspect of sports. You also interact with large groups, so it's very important into socialization with team sports. Students get a sense of stress release. They're stuck in the classroom all day. They're trying to perform in the classroom, so there's a lot of pressure. So when they get out to a field, they're able to participate in some type of physical activity, which actually helps the brain release chemicals, which puts them in a better mood. So it helps the mood of the student. There's personal and emotional development that comes with playing team sports and competitive sports in schools. They develop leadership skills that they can use later on in life. They learn how to help younger kids, younger classmates out there on the field, so it translates into success in the business world. They deal with conflict resolution. Not every call goes your way. Not every teammate you get along with. You have personality conflicts, so you have to learn how to deal with those things, and that also can help them later in life. There's time management. You have studies that you have to keep up with as well as practice, so you have to learn how to balance that time schedule. You have increased self-esteem. You feel better about yourself because you're more athletic, you're in better shape, you're competing, so you feel better about yourself. You're able to set goals. Usually, especially with the team, they usually set high goals at the beginning of the year, and they strive for the goals, and it gets you used into setting goals in your life, what you want to succeed in the business world. You receive attention. You receive positive and negative attention, and you learn how to deal with that. Some folks have a problem dealing with any attention at all, and when you're in sports, you get used to having attention placed on you in not only a positive way, but in a negative way sometimes, and you have to cope with that, even through life. The researchers at the Institute for the Study of Youth Sports at Michigan State report kids who participate in organized sports do better in schools. They have better interpersonal skills, and they are more team-oriented and are generally healthier. So there's been studies who's looked at kids who participate in sports. Now, when you get to college preparation, when you're graduating high school and you're ready to go to a college, most major universities not just look at grades. Grades are important, and how the courses you've taken are important, but they also want to see a well-rounded student. So they like it when they see a student who's participated in extracurricular activities such as competitive sports. They know that these students have taken time to prepare themselves not only for the sports but for the classroom as well. So they see where they've had to deal with time management and other issues. The Los Angeles Unified School District actually did a study on the effects of the grade point average with students who played sports. And they found that students who played sports actually had anywhere from a 0.5 to 0.7 points higher in their GPA. And also UC Berkeley College actually did a study involving their football team over a 12-year period. And they found that their football players actually had a higher GPA by 0.77 points. Now they realize that these students realize that they are not going to be able to play unless they do well in school, so they strive and they study more in order to get a higher GPA so that they're able to finish playing throughout their high school career. Now, there are many people out there who argue that sports needs to be taken out of schools. They'll give arguments such as cost. The sports are too expensive for schools. We should be funneling our money elsewhere. Well, if you know that most of your coaches in school now, they teach regular classes. They don't just go to the school to coach. So they're also fulfilling a teaching role. And in the county that I live in, actually, in order to participate in sports, the parents have to pay. Now they have fundraisers and they have ways of funding it. However, you're expected to put the cost into the program in order for your child to participate. Now, there's situations with children who are financially unable to pay for play to be able to play, and those needs are met as well. But it's typically through donations, private donations. There's pressure on these kids, they say, so they think it's unadded pressure, but a lot of that pressure is due to parents who need better parenting skills. It's a parental problem, not a sport problem. Now, I've actually had children who participate in school sports, and I've watched them develop and grow over the years. And sports obviously isn't for everyone. Just like just not doing anything is good either. You have to watch your time. There's things you have to look out for, But most kids who do sports in school, they strive and they do much better in their education. They do much better in life. So I just feel it's important that they're still allowed to participate in sports in school. Thank you.